Hello, everyone, and welcome back to New Comic Book Day here at Comic Vantage. So, today's episode, we have our new releases for the week of, Wednesday, October 17th, 2018. So, this is the day I go through and see what's worth reading, and I give it a quick read, and I let you know all about it. Giant spoiler-filled reviews coming your way. So, if you don't want spoilers, make sure you back out and come back later. Also, I have been putting timestamps in the description so you can skip the books that you want to, be surprised on, that you want to read yourself and come back with your own opinions. So, anyway, let's get started. First book this week, Black Badge number 3 from Boom Studios. This was a book that I've really enjoyed for the first couple issues. I know I reviewed the first issue, and I think I missed the second one, but here's the third. Love this cover. It goes through, and it's showing you this Boy Scout with all the crazy stuff he has on him. Backup tracking device installed without agent's knowledge. Multi-tool with mobile uplink. Now, the whole gist of this comic book is that there is a group of Boy Scouts who were trained as Black Ops members. And they pull off missions that supposedly no one else can do because they're kids. I mean, these are a group of kids, seriously, Boy Scouts. This is their training compound because so far they're being punished. Last issue, they made a big hoopla while they were in Canada, I believe, breaking somebody out of prison. And their pictures went viral because they were lost in the woods. Oh no, lost children. So I guess their boss was not happy, so he sent them back to training. And here they are learning improvised stabbing devices, household chemistry, hazardous items, social media surveillance. I love this one. Carcass disposal. So eventually they are no longer being punished, and they volunteer for a job in Afghanistan. It's an extraction job where they're supposed to go pick up a spy and bring him on out. Now, they're doing this because there was a member of their group named Jimmy, who we have not met up until this point, who went missing during one of their missions. And they're telling the story of how this man that's called the Hook Hand, hunts Boy Scouts, essentially, the Black Ops Scouts, and kidnaps them. Of course, it's just supposed to be like this giant wives' tale sort of thing, but it does have some semblance of truth to it. So they end up getting their spy across the border from Afghanistan into Pakistan to get him out, and while they're there, they go searching for Jimmy. And apparently, Jimmy kind of went rogue, and he's leading his own insurgent team. So this was really interesting. I'm looking forward to more of this book. It's been a lot of fun so far. A lot of cool twists and turns, and it's just interesting seeing, Boy Scouts being Black Ops. It's a little crazy. A lot of fun with that. So anyway, that is Black Badge number 3. A definite must read. Had a lot of fun with this book. And next up, from Image Comics, we have Exorsisters number 1. I had no idea whatsoever what to expect from this book, so this was completely new, and I haven't even read a synopsis on this thing. I loved this transition when I first opened this book. It was like full color, and then raw, black and white, negative. It's so awesome. I love that. Anyway, so my first thought was, wow, this is actually a little on the cartoony side. It really, didn't appeal to me. And then I started getting this really crazy kind of Archie vibe to it, which really wasn't all that unpleasant. So we have Kate and Kate, who are the Exorsisters. And here they are helping a woman named Gloria, whose husband or fiance was sucked into hell at their wedding. So apparently they're kind of, occult specialists. And this is what they do. They do exorcisms and they hunt demons and all kinds of stuff. So no one else remembers her husband being sucked into hell. Everyone thinks he just left her at the altar, and she's freaking out. And the priest worked with them at one time. So he's like, you know what? I kind of believe you. So let's call these girls and let's see if they can get him to help. Intercede here. We have this cool little moment. This is the only when they threw this panel right at this page right in the middle here. I'm like, what is going on here? This woman bets this guy a bottle of Jack that she did something worse than he did, and he said he got drunk one night and killed a kid and his dog. She whispers in his ear, and he walks out and gives her a bottle of Jack. So whatever she did must have been truly evil. Next page. Kate and Kate feeding their fish. What kind of fish is on fire? All right, but I digress. They open a portal to hell to go look for Glenn, who is Gloria's fiance, supposedly where he's at. They're searching around hell, nowhere to be seen. They contact this cool eyeball guy who's like, oh no, I know you don't want any trouble. I will totally help. So apparently they're a big deal in hell. Oh, and, you gotta love a demon in a dress. Funny story on this. Apparently he was trying to possess a 6-year-old girl, but he got distracted and his spell was reversed and she possessed him. So now she has all the abilities of a demon. There's actually a 6-year-old child in that body. Frickin' hilarious. Really, really loved it. Like I said, it kind of has this sort of kiddie, cartoonish kind of Archie vibe to it, but definitely a lot of the jokes and the humor are adult-based, which is a weird twist. It was still a lot of fun. They end up finding Glenn, who apparently made a deal with a demon to feed off of Gloria's sadness to give him wealth and power. Yeah, so she's not very happy with that. Great story. It was a lot of fun. And then we come to the end here, and we find out that strange woman in the bar is their mother. And one of the Kates is not a sister. It's actually the other one's soul made corporeal. What is going on here? A lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed this book. I would recommend picking it up, just giving it a shot. Like I said, I had no idea what to expect. I love finding crazy books like this that, you just come out of nowhere. So, yeah, that's a thumbs up on my list this week. And next up, from DC Comics, we have Green Lantern's The End. This is the series finale, hence The End. It also ends out the storyline of the cyborg Superman who has the Phantom Ring going around wreaking havoc on the universe. That was cover A I just showed, then an advertisement, and now this is cover B. This is a gorgeous cover. This would be the one I would have grabbed right here. Now just look at that. Really, really nice. Okay, so we have cyborg Superman coming to Coast City. He has the Phantom Ring, and he wants to destroy the place. Oh, look at the big gun he makes. I mean, what the hell? Seriously? That's actually kind of goofy. The whole book was just all right for my liking. It's kind of like, DC was like, okay, we're canceling the title. Dan Jurgens, get on it. Finish the story. Done. So this whole book felt really rushed. Now, the other thing that I really didn't enjoy is half the book focuses around Hal Jordan. Now, this book is always supposed to be about Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, and they get one little section in the end of the book, and this whole book here is just him fighting cyborg Superman. And he's like, oh, I'm stronger than I once was, and rah, I can kill you. And, they have this little section here where, Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz are still trying to defeat the Ravagers, but it almost seems like that's the side story for this book, and it's supposed to be their title. So, I don't know. And, the artwork was kind of weird in this book. I was flipping through it, and it was almost giving me kind of that Greg Land sort of photo reference kind of vibe to it, and I hate Greg Land artwork. So, for me, this was kind of a bad way to end the series. Now, if you haven't read Green Lanterns before, it was a good book. It had some hits or misses, but definitely had more hits than misses. So the central battery has been corrupted by Cyborg Spider-Man. They got to figure out a way to fix it. The Lantern's planet has been injured, so they are leaving, and they're going to go back to Oa. And then Jessica Cruz decides to leave. That was it. That's the whole book. Hal Jordan going, rah, kill Cyborg Superman. Why do I keep wanting to say Spider-Man? I don't know. Anyway, and then Jessica Cruz leaves. The end. All right, so, like I said, for me, that was kind of a meh this week. I'm going to pick it up just because, I collected the rest of them, so I might as well have the last issue. If you're following that story arc, you might as well pick it up too. If not, I wouldn't even worry about it. So that was Green Lantern, number 57, a very lackluster way to end the series. Like I said, the whole thing just felt kind of rushed at the end. But that is my opinion. Your mileage may vary, which is my disclaimer. And next up, For Marvel Comics, we have Weapon Hex #1, which was the Infinity Warps story. This is the storyline where Gamora has the Infinity Gauntlet. She does not want to give up the stones. She folds the universe in on itself, so we come up with these incredible mashes of heroes and villains. I really wasn't interested in most of them. I did pick up, what the hell was that? The Iron Hammer or whatever it was, which was actually kind of fun. And I had to grab Weapon Hex because I'm a huge fan of Laura Kinney. I love X-23. She's a great character, so I wanted to see what was done with her. We start here with Mount Wundagore. And we have her, well, we have these great Herbert and Sarah. Herbert and Sarah are trying to create the perfect vessel for the Mephiticon, or Fetita. It's like a Mephisto sort of mashup with somebody else. And every vessel they make ends up dying or being destroyed while this demon is trying to possess them. So they decide, you know what, let's try something a little different, and they have kind of a child themselves who ends up being Laura Kinney. Right there. And they raise her to be this perfect child and killer and the perfect vessel for this demon. Really enjoyed the artwork in this book, but, you know, being a huge fan of the 90s, I was a big fan of the whole, you know, anime and manga revolution. So when a lot of artists like, you know, like Ramos and Cruz and Medora popped on the scene and started doing this manga sort of artwork, I really, really loved it. And this has that kind of feel to it. Almost like it's kind of like a mashup of the classic manga and a little bit of the more modern take on it, which is kind of like a Dexter Soy. Oh man, I love his artwork. And that's what this gave me that feel. So anyway, back to the story. We have Laura being trained to be the ultimate badass. And I love that she's wearing a Venom t-shirt there. Oh, we have this little Spider-Man plushie down here. Anyway, trained. Going to be a killer. Going to be unstoppable. But as she progresses through the story, her mother is, you know, growing more attached to her. You know, it's what moms do, and her dad is like, you know, she's not your child, it's it's trained to be a vessel, and her mom's like, well, it's still my girl, it's still a daughter, I love this thing. Her dad put like a trigger in her to be able to just, like, he can point a target and she will kill it. So he ends up having her kill her own mom. Really, really huge bummer for her. And she tells her to take care of her sister, and she's like, what? I have a sister. What the hell's going on there? Sister is Speed Weasel. I guess this is supposed to be Gabby. I really, really loved that at the end. Now, this is only supposed to be 2 issues, I believe, so the whole story did feel kind of rushed, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I liked the artwork. The concept was really neat. I probably will pick up the second one just, you know, to finish it out. I want to see what happens. So, yeah, I mean, this was actually a fun read, so I would pick it up. And, thumbs up from me this week. And this was Weapon Hex #1. And next up, from Boom Studios, we have Low Road West #2. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the week this book came out, I didn't do a review. So I'm jumping right into the second here. So I'm going to give you a quick recap on the first one. First issue, it's only going to be a 5-issue miniseries from Boom. First issue, we have a group of 5 children who are leaving the East Coast. Reason being is there was a giant nuclear first strike, leaving the East Coast uninhabitable, a lot of danger, a lot of fighting, so their parents send them away. Get them across the country, get to San Francisco, where it's much safer for them. They get about halfway through the Dust Bowl, you know, and there's a giant dust storm. And it forces them into this town, which is called Custer's Wake, although somebody crossed out the C and called it Duster's Wake. And here they are stuck, and there are weird things starting to happen. This was a very fun read. So far, it's kind of got some violence to it, a little bit of the supernatural going on. You have these 5 kids who don't know each other, and they're going to have to learn how to trust each other to be able to survive this. Right now, they're in this town. They're trying to right now, they're just trying to get food and water because they have nothing. So they're going out and they're exploring, and the place is pretty much just a giant ghost town. Nothing going on. A few of the kids venture out, and they meet a young girl named Angela, who rescues them from these rabid, weird nuclear waste dogs. Right here. And her name is Angela. Or no, not Angela, sorry. Her name is Harm. The other girl is Angela. And Harm tries filling them in that once they're here in this place, they are stuck. They can't leave. And she tries to explain to them that the place becomes bendy, where it sort of folds in on itself. So you kind of like, you walk out one door and it takes you back into the building sort of thing. Really neat concept. I'm kind of enjoying this. So we get to this other kid who's checking out all the research in this house, and he finds an old manuscript from 1873 of this gentleman who starts writing about how he discovered something weird in this town where time and space don't work, and there's no inevitability of death. It's kind of strange, and you find this weird skeleton. I'm really intrigued on where this is going to go. And these kids find this portal to this weird world. I mean, this is how the book ends right here. Really, it's like, what is going on? It's a lot of fun. Really enjoy this. I think it's going to have a great outcome. I'm very excited to see where this goes. And that there is Low Road West, #2. Like I said, I missed the first issue, and I really wish I hadn't now, so you guys could have gotten the full effect of it. But I will get the next 3 to let you know the rest of the story. And yeah, I'm really interested in reading this. And next up, from Marvel Comics, we have the Venom Annual #1. This is the very first Venom Annual ever, at least that's what Marvel says. This is cover A. I do not have the picture of cover B here. I wish I did so you guys would see it. It's this absolutely amazing Bill Sienkiewicz cover. And that's the one everybody should be buying. That is the hot cover for the week. Other than, of course, Marvel Zombies cover B, which just kind of came out of nowhere. Personally, I don't like that cover at all, but it is blowing up online, especially on eBay. This was actually a fun read this week. I had no idea what to expect. And it's funny because my LCS only ordered like 6 copies of it. So like, people don't buy annuals. Yeah, that was a mistake, I think. 4 different stories going on, 4 different writers, 4 different artists. I mean, it looks really good. It was a lot of fun. It starts off with a bunch of our villains here just hanging out in a bar, telling stories about Venom and how badass he is. And then you start going into the individual stories. We start with the Black Cat, who tells her story of Venom beating the snot out of her way back when he was first hitting the scene, and he had no mercy whatsoever. This story was actually really cool. Written by Michelini, which, you know, knows Venom pretty much almost as well as Todd McFarlane. Artist was Ron Lim, and the inker was that classic Spider-Man inker, Scott Hanna. So it was a great meetup on this little story here. And she goes through and she tells a story about how just Venom beat the crap out of her. And she was coming back for a round 2. And this story is you know, aptly named Round 2. Gets into a fight with him. Venom's like, you know what, I'm just going to kill you now and eat you. And then he realizes she risked herself in the middle of this fight to save some people who were being taken hostage. And he lets her live, which I thought was really cool. So we go back to, you know, everybody's just trying to convince the Scorpion of how badass Venom is. And Scorpion's like, well, I was Venom once, rah, you know, and he just doesn't want to deal with it. So then the bartender steps in. And he's like, well, you know, I got a story for you. And he tells the story of how Venom walked in his bar one day and he spilled Wolverine's drink. This, I was not expecting this story, but it was really cool. Wolverine, Venom going toe-to-toe. Great fight. Awesome. And this is when Venom was still very bestial. So he was angry. He wants to eat brains and livers and everything else. And he is bested by Wolverine. And he says, he actually tells him, at some point, you got to ask yourself, am I going to be this or more? And he tells him that long time ago, someone gave me that chance. This is yours. Who knew that Wolverine was Venom's moral compass to turn him into a hero? Are you kidding me? That, I was not expecting that. And that right there alone is the price of admission for this book. Absolutely loved that little twist. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we get to the end here, which is Venom during the whole Madness storyline taking on the Juggernaut. I found this really disappointing because, wow, I hated this artwork. And it totally detracted from everything else. I didn't even feel like reading the word bubbles because, oh boy, I do not like this at all. So I'm just going to skip to the end. Other than this story, though, the book was really cool. Because by the time you get to the end, you know what's the scary thing about Venom? Is that he can be anywhere, anytime, and he hears everything. That was really cool. Loved that. Yeah, Venow Annual. Definitely worth picking up. This was a really, really good book. And you know, to hell with anyone who says people don't buy annuals. So yeah, that's a thumbs up from me this week. All right, and actually, I did pull up that awesome variant cover. Look at that. That is the Bill Sienkiewicz cover. That is the book to get this week, people. Look at that. I mean, if that's not slab worthy, I do not know what is. All right, so next up, from Image Comics, we have Skyward #7, and this follows the story of Willa. Now, if you haven't been following Skyward, I urge you to hunt down these issues. They are so much fun. The story has been optioned, I believe, for TV. So, you know, we're looking at some spec here, people. Make sure you grab them. Yes, this is a crazy cover with a dude riding a butterfly. All right, so Willa survived what was a day where the entire world flipped upside down. All the gravity was just gone, disappeared from the Earth. People floated into space. Her mom was just gone. There is a weird ring around the planet that is just all the debris and people that just floated off the world. It's like, so it left her with her and her dad. Her dad was the one that caused it. Now, in the first 6 issues, or at least 5 issues, they were trying to figure out a way to solve it, and her dad thought he knew of a way to fix it. They were hunted down by his partner at the time, whose name is Barrow. And Barrow did not want this to happen because he was making lots of money from the world being weightless. She ends up losing her dad. Now we're here into the next story arc. Issue 6 started it off. Here there be dragonflies. Willa is in this forest with these giant bugs. And crazy, seriously. The writer of the book tells us that, you know, what would happen to a bug if there was no gravity, and he thinks that they would actually grow larger because gravity would still keep their circular systems from working or working properly. Really, really cool. So we have her in this forest fighting these giant bugs, and a lot of people don't realize dragonflies are carnivorous. They actually eat meat, so of course they would probably hunt people if they were this size. She's with these other group of people. They were all hiding out in a train, and they were trying to get away from these bugs. And then this guy shows up with a big sword, and she's like, oh my god, you have a sword. And she's like, well, yes, I do. And he saves her life. And he's riding a giant butterfly. Awesome. Turns out him and his little group are farmers from a nearby farming community. Happen to find them, rescue them to help them get them out of trouble. And they're there, you know, they're like, hey, this train is a death trap. The worst bugs come out at night. So you have to come with us. We will get you back to our farm. We will try to rescue you. Oh, our little sword-wielding farmer bug-riding dude, his name is Lucas. I have a feeling he is going to be a huge player coming out. So we have his little right hand here. Her name is Serena, and she's like, are you insane? We can't take them with us. What if they find out? He's like, I don't want to talk about that. Really, really curious to find out what that is. This book has been a lot of fun. So nighttime starts falling. Needs to get ready for a fight. That is when the giant mosquitoes come out, apparently. So now we have giant butterflies, giant mosquitoes, and giant dragonflies. Completely insane. So they fight them off. They get to the tree line, and she's like, well, let's see Barrow find us now. They didn't realize these guys work for Barrow Agriculture. And that's where they leave us on this book. Really a good read. So much fun. Beginning to end, since the first issue till now, like I said, we are looking at some spec with this book, people. Hunt down the first couple issues if you can. Like I said, just for spec alone, you should be hunting down these books. And then read them. I'm all about a good story. This is a good story. It's lots of fun. So, yes, thumbs up from me this week. And now, our last book for the week is Darth Vader, number 22 from Marvel Comics. I have read this book since issue number 1. We're looking at issue number 22. It's almost 2 years now that this book has been out, and Charles Soule has been writing it, and there has not been a single dud issue yet. This is probably consistently the best read of the week for every week that it comes out. No difference. This here, my pick of the week for story. And also, I mean, that cover is actually very cool as well. Look at that. The helmet he's holding is the helmet of Lord Mammon. Lord Mammon was a Sith, or actually not even a Sith. I guess he was just... He never took an apprentice, and he talks about this. His spirit or his force is inside the helmet, and he's actually talking to Vader. He designed Vader's... He actually took over an architect assistant last issue and designed Vader his fortress. Vader wanted a planet to be his own to meditate and to study the dark side. And the Emperor asked him, what do you want? He said, Mustafar. And Mustafar is the place where Vader was defeated by Obi-Wan, where he essentially became Vader. And it was the place of his greatest failure, and it was also a place that's very, very full of the dark side, so he wants to come here. Now, Mammon creates this beautiful castle for him, and he goes into his own story then, where he pretty much he possesses Vader and tells his own story of how he liked to create things. But usually what he created, as you can see here, we got some entrails and a knife, was usually something grotesque from living beings. But to him, this was art and this was beauty. Weird kid, but wow, so cool. So eventually he creates something so grotesque that they arrest him and throw him in prison. So while he's in prison, I mean, look at him disassembling a little creature over here, using the Force. And he was never even formally trained in it. Shah appears to him, and Shah is a Sith and takes him on as an apprentice. But he tells her he doesn't like the name apprentice or master, and how does she think he can call her master when he is second to none? So he kills her. And he strikes out on his own. And he tells Vader that he never took an apprentice because he had no time to teach. He was only there to learn and to study, and he wanted to know everything he could about the dark side. And the dark side wanted him to do things and create for them. Weird little guy. I like him so much. So he created this giant ship, and at this point he was going to go to this planet, and he was going to rain down destruction on it. And this was going to be his internal shrine to the dark side, his masterpiece. This was going to be his beautiful, beautiful opus. And what he was going to do is he was going to rain down death and destruction from above. And right before the point where this town is completely destroyed, he was going to freeze time and keep everyone in that pain and fear of that moment. And this was going to be his masterpiece, just the beautiful agony of these people. Wow, what amazing writing. Seriously. And just as he was about to do this, 2 Jedi show up and stop him. And he ends up dying, but all of his force goes into this helmet, which they keep. I don't know if it's a trophy or for the museum. Who knows why Jedi do what they do. Fast forward, and now Palpatine has it. And, yeah, I mean, Vader was actually wearing the helmet. He didn't even realize he was doing it, and he throws it off. So he goes and he finds one of the indigenous people on the planet, and he pops the helmet on him. So now Mammon is possessing one of these creatures on the planet. And he tells Vader that this building, this castle that he's building for him, is going to be the key to unlock the dark side for him on this planet. And that this key will open up the secrets of life and death. Really, really cool guy. I like this. I like this a lot. And he tells Vader he will not let him down. This is his one and only chance. You've given me a wonderful opportunity. I will not throw it away. This will be my masterpiece. Wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say. This is just such good writing. I love it. And the artwork has been great, start to finish. There hasn't been any bad issues for that. This is a book everyone needs to be reading. I'm sure the first 15 issues now are probably in trade format. Go and pick them up. So good. Now, if I haven't said it before, this book right here is my pick of the week for story. Absolutely love it. This was also contender for cover of the week because, oh, seriously, look at that cover. It's beautiful. So let's go quick recap. Darth Vader number 22. Loved it. Great book. Everyone should be reading it. Skyward number 7. Another awesome read. A lot of fun. This is another one everybody should be picking up just for spec alone. Venow Annual number 1. Another really good read. Lots of great stories in it this week. It was a lot of fun. Low Road West. I wish I had done the review on issue number 1 so people wouldn't be behind on it. Really good. Infinity Warps Weapon Hex number 1. This one here was just also, it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. I like seeing these little mashups. Like I said, most of them I really wasn't all that interested in, but this was cool. Green Lanterns number 57. The End. Yeah, not a fitting end. This was really disappointing. Really bummed me out. Kind of lackluster. Then from Image Comics, Exorsisters number 1. Good fun. Really was. Really had that crazy Archie vibe to it with definite adult undertones. Strange book, but really a good read. Last but not least, Black Badge number 3. This book has been a lot of fun. It's great to see Black Ops Boy Scouts. I mean, really, what more do you have to say? All right, so now to finish up the recap, Darth Vader 22, my book of the week for story, and my cover of the week right there. That Venow Annual number 1. It does not get any better than that. Bill Sienkiewicz has been all over the place recently. He's really kind of come out of hiding. He's putting all kinds of covers out everywhere. Doing con appearances is one guy I would love to meet. Love his artwork, and it just seems to be getting better and better with every cover he does. It's like everything's been out recently. That awesome Dazzler cover that he did like half a year ago. All of the Walking Dead covers he's had coming out. I mean, some really, really, really cool work. So, anyway, people, those are my books for the week. These are my opinions. Your mileage may vary. So, like always, to all my current subscribers, thank you for watching. I love you guys. I wouldn't be here without you. You are awesome. Make sure you keep giving me thumbs up, keep giving me comments. That's my biggest thing. Other than thumbs up and likes and shares and all that stuff, I love the comments. I love talking with people who have the same interest or can even introduce me to something new. I absolutely love that, and you guys are amazing for it. So like always, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is the first time watching, hit that little CB down in the little right-hand corner over there that subscribes to my channel because you know you want to. And hit the little bell notification up top that lets you know when all my cool videos are coming out. And like always, guys, thank you for watching and take it easy.